Hi guys, so today we're going to be making prawn rolls, and for this recipe you'll be needing prawns or shrimps with their tails on, because the tails has to hang out, just the way you saw on my thumbnail. You're going to see us make this from scratch, so let's get right into the video. So guys, we're going to need 2 cups of flour to use for the samosa wrap. Now to this cup of flour, I also measured out 2 cups of water, but I will be adding this water little by little just until I get the accurate consistency I need. Now whenever you're making a dough or anything related to samosa wrapper, make sure you're always adding your water in bits, because different flour has different water absorption levels. So sometimes 2 cups of flour may be too much for this particular one, and sometimes it may be too small for this particular quantity. So you just want to eyeball it. Now this is the consistency we're looking for, but I'm just going to continue beating this just to activate the gluten enough your dough the way you're seeing me do, because it's going to give your dough a stretchy kind of feel when you make the wrapper. For this samosa wrapper, for any kind of samosa wrapper, you always need a non-stick pan. Now you need a very good non-stick pan just like this one, and after using this pan, it is advised to not use the same pan you're using for your samosa wrap for any other thing. This will help you retain the lifespan of your pan to last longer for you, and also it will stop any form of stickiness. Like if you're always having the problem where your samosa wrap is sticking to the pan, that's because you're always using that pan for something else. Okay, so now that that is sorted, we heat up the pan, and once the pan is hot enough for you not to touch it, you're going to take a portion of that batter and rub around the pan as thinly and as neatly as you can possibly do. Scoop off the excesses and then close up all the holes you see. It is advised I am advising you, do not leave holes in your samosa wrapper, because that will let oil seep in, giving you dark marks. Like it won't make your samosa wrapper look good, like the end result of the fried product. It will make it look good, so be cautious of that. Now after you've done that, you want to leave it on the heat till you see it turn translucent like this. Okay, that is how you're going to be sure that it's ready for flipping or ready to take off the heat. Now if you can look, it comes right off immediately. It gets to that point, it will come right off. You flip it over, take it off the heat immediately, then take off your samosa wrap and do your second one. Now I personally love to do this out off the heat, because I find out that whenever I leave the pan on the heat while doing this, sometimes it cramps up in one particular corner, pulls or tears the wrap, and it's just a lot of mess. So I find that doing it off the heat helps me maintain the same temperature while swirling around the pan. And as always, make sure you cover your holes. Any holes you see that appear, make sure to close it up. Give it a few minutes, make sure it turns and is easy to pull before pulling, and there you have it, the perfect made samosa wrap. Now you want to proceed to make this with all the 2 cups of flour that you measured, and this gave me about 12 wraps in total. And just take a look at how flexible these wraps are. Like you could squeeze it and unsqueeze it and it would not stick together. You do not need extra flour coating, you do not need to put corn flour, you do not need anything. And this wrapper, trust me, this is the wrapper I use for my business, and it gives me the most crunchy samosas and spring roll there is. Anyway, that aside, it's time to cut our wrappers up on the shape we need. Like I told you earlier, we're going to be needing a square shape of wrapper. So if you have a square pan, you can use that, but I made a second one so I could cut it up into 4 corners, and I am just tracing this out to cut it up into 4 corners. So it's not that you can't use the circle wrappers, but a square for wrapping this particular shrimp roll style is very, very important, because this would help you get a very pretty looking a pretty looking wrap. This will help you get a very, very pretty looking wrap, and it will also help you retain, lock in the prawns properly into the wrap. So once you get your perfect square, it doesn't need to be perfect, but once you get a good square like this, I will proceed to peel it off. Now, if you're using your own samosa wrap recipe, please be sure that you have a very good samosa wrap recipe before you attempt to cut everything together, if you will need to cut it out one by one. Now that our wrap is ready, it is time to season our prawns. And I am not someone that likes using so much seasoning for a particular thing. These are the only 3 seasoning I will be using for this prawn. And trust me when I tell you, it still bangs so good. Now, we have leftover from the wrap we made, and I just like to keep a little bit just to use as a sealant when wrapping. Okay, you can make a new one if you finished or exhausted all your batter. Now, I forgot to show, but I made 2 incisions just at these 2 corners of the shrimp. This helps the shrimp stays straight. You know, prawns or shrimps, they are always bent, so you have to make this incision to keep it straight. Now, for your wrap, you fold it on a corner just as you saw me did. Then you place it at the edge of the folded corner and proceed to wrap. While wrapping, make sure you're pinching the little side, like that should be your focus point on tightening. After rolling it the 3rd time, then you flip over the top just as you see me do, and then you roll it till the end. But before you get to that end, you need to add ghee, which is the extra butter that we kept, and you just apply that butter to the edges of the wrap just as you can see me doing, and roll it all the way. Now guys, look at how easy that is. The reason you wrap 2 to 3 times before folding the other edge is so that you create a thicker base so that it doesn't burst open from the top of it. And that is all you need for a prawn roll. Like, this is easy and it's very restaurant style friendly. So if you're looking to work in a restaurant and they ask you to create something new for the menu, this is a very, very good option. And I also just posted a recipe of the sauce, the dip sauce for this particular prawn rolls, in my YouTube shorts, so be sure to check that out. I'll link it in the description box of this particular video. So guys, you want to repeat exactly the same process for every single prawn you have. Always fold the edge before rolling. Then make sure you keep your prawns tails poking out, like enough tail poking out, because as you roll it will also take up some of the tail space. So you just want to make sure that you have enough tail space to roll all the way. And just exactly the same process as the first, you roll all the way and then apply the extra batter that you left. This is the perfect sealant for even your samosa or your spring roll. This is the perfect sealant to use. So no egg, no nothing that will make your your wrappers get soggy. Okay, like, we don't do soggy wrappers around here. So I proceed to do exactly the same process for all the prawns till I was done with every single one of them. And these prawns were different sizes, but once you maintain the same rolling technique of pinching the edge, the bottom, then you're perfectly good to go. Don't forget that a detailed recipe of my samosa wrapper is on my YouTube page, on my samosa video. I think that is the very first video I made on YouTube. And guys, thank you so much for 5,000 followers. Oh my god. And yeah, we're done wrapping this now up. Now it's time to fry. Now mind you that most people also do add mayonnaise to this to make the prawns creamy, but personally I like to keep things apart, and I believe that these are prawn rolls. They do not need mayonnaise inside them when they are not shrimp in mayo. I don't know, that's just my belief. Let me know what you think in the comment section. It's time to fry, and the tips for frying: first, always use a deep dish. Okay, do not put this on a shallow frying pan that you want to fry them. They will not look pretty. So always use a deep dish so that you can deep fry. Secondly, always make sure to put enough oil. I know oil is expensive, but come on, you can reuse this oil 2 to 3 times before it goes bad. Now, another tip is to make sure that your oil is the right temperature, and you can do that by simply putting a skewer into your oil and making sure once you see the bubbles just the way you saw, then you know your oil is perfect for frying. You don't want your oil too hot and you don't want it too cold either. You want it the perfect temperature so that your prawns get to cook thoroughly while maintaining a very, very crunchy and not burnt roll. Okay, so we fry on a particular temperature. I do not have a thermometer, so I eyeball this. One, do the skewer test. It always helps you know a very good temperature, and then just keep rotating and turning your prawns every other minute. Now you don't want to walk away from this, because like how every oil thing works, once you step away and look away, bam, it's burnt. So you want to constantly keep stirring it, turning it around and flipping it over. This is 5 minutes in, and just look at how good it is. No wrap has busted, no oil mixing or anything, and we fry till it's golden brown like this, and we're done with our prawn rolls. Guys, look at how crunchy this wrapper is. Like, I'm obsessed, and if you can see, our prawns are cooked through properly, like cooked through. Even if you don't have strength to make this, just place an order on Kitchen Trios on IG. If you're guys, this is the banging sauce I was telling you about. Make sure to check out the recipe. This sauce tastes so good. Like, in fact, I had to use this sauce for chicken. Okay. Also, let me know in the comments what other recipe you love to see me try. And do not forget to like, share, subscribe to my channel. And let me know which other recipe you love to see on this page. And guys, don't forget, my next video is the shrimp in mayo, so that you can compare and contrast which one you prefer between the two. So don't forget. Bye guys, and see you in my next video.